Well, it's June 29th, 2013. I head home tomorrow in just over 24 hours. The boat will arrive. It's nice today. It's 60 degrees right now inside and warm. It feels pretty warm. It's a little rainy outside and foggy. I still have some crates I need to carry down to the beach. I took down a bunch yesterday and the day before. I'm just hiding it out in the forest down there. I don't think anyone's going to come and find it anyway. I don't think they'd want most of it, but I need to take down some of the more sensitive stuff today, my laptops and good cameras and that kind of stuff. I hate to leave it there overnight, but it's probably as safe there as it is here. Animals won't really care about it, and I really can't afford to have any delays tomorrow. I need to be ready to go at 1 o'clock for the pickup. So the plan tomorrow is to, I guess, pack up my sleeping bag, and I think that's it. I'm going to have everything else down there, and then I'll carry that down and go home. So kind of got mixed feelings about that. I'm excited to get home and see people, although I'm also a little bit anxious about it. It feels kind of weird. Coming out here was a stretch, walking away from everything and leaving everyone and being alone, that alone for so long. There was some anxiety in doing that, and now I'm doing the exact opposite, and so I feel some anxiety there as well. It will be an easier life, going back, of course, because I have modern conveniences. Although right now I'm living pretty easy. This is nice. I get up in the morning, have some coffee, and relax. What I'm losing by going back to society is losing control of just losing total control of my time. I have to interact with people again, which is good and reasonable, but that is an adjustment. In the first 2 days that I get back, I already have one meeting with a family to pass on the dog, Wilson, and I have another meeting with a film company about a possible feature film they want me to work on, and then I have an interview with a newspaper back home, and that's just in the first 2 days, and I haven't even started to try to do anything to build up any kind of publicity or any kind of speaking tours or anything like that. I think I'm going to just kind of hide out for a couple weeks here and just write. My book is basically done, but I need to finish it up. I want to make sure that it's not redundant, and I want to make sure I add a few items that either I've left out or things that I want to rewrite, like the introduction. I wrote that halfway through, and I'm going to completely redo that. My approach is a little different. And then I also want to capture what it's like to re-enter society. I think there's a lot of obvious things that will be different and kind of fun and interesting, but then there's also probably a few surprises out there, so that'll be interesting. I think just walking downtown, looking around, would be kind of eye-opening. I kind of wonder if people are going to, how they'll react to me. I look very different, a little bit rougher right now, and that's to be expected. I remember, I don't know, 5-6 years ago once, I went on a business trip to Europe to meet with Rolls-Royce, and I looked nice. I wore a tie, and they sent a limo, and just it was a really amazing experience. And then, like 2 or 3 weeks later, I went on vacation to Alaska, and I was kind of scruffy and dirty and just filthy and just kind of looking a little rough, not like I do right now, but pretty close. And it was just interesting that in a 2 or 3 week time period, people went from treating me nicely and calling me sir to looking at me with suspicion and not really knowing, if I'm even safe, I guess. I don't know. Or if I'm homeless or what the story was, because we judge by appearances. So I think coming back to society will be very interesting. I don't know. It'll be fun kind of going into some of the old places I used to go, restaurants and stores where people actually know me, and just kind of see their reaction to the way I've changed, and both in appearance and I think the way I interact with people. Although I think I'll pretty much revert back to the way I generally act. Um, no real life changing changes, I would say, but just some minor tweaks, I guess. It's kind of interesting. I feel a lot more calm and peaceful right now, obviously, but and so I think I'll feel a lot more patient toward people and try to help people. I feel that desire, although that may go away pretty quickly. And I also think I feel very little compulsion to tolerate um, people who are not looking out for my interests, people who are kind of jerking me around. I think if I get into a situation where I'm dealing with someone like that and I don't need to deal with them, I'll simply not deal with them and just kind of, um, not tolerate that kind of relationship and just kind of do my own thing. It's just not worth tolerating that kind of stress. And it's not a big deal. It wasn't when I left, but it's a waste of time, and I think time is incredibly valuable in life. So they say the only thing you can't buy is time, but you really can buy time. All you do is quit wasting your time doing things that you don't want to do or that are not really necessary, and then you have a whole bunch of time. So I don't know. That's not really profound, but it's true. So anyway, I think that's about it right now. I may do another vlog about surprises, things that surprised me, and some things that didn't. I don't know, feeling pretty good today. So anyway, I got to go out and do some work. Carrying all that stuff. I carried a lot of stuff down yesterday and across the creek in some boots that were, I put on my rubber boots and got my feet wet, and that it's really cold water. My toes just ached for a while, but then I put my good boots back on, and I felt better again. But going to bed last night, and even just walking around the yard, I could feel stress in my back from carrying heavy stuff. And I wasn't carrying as much on my shoulders these days. I actually have a plastic sled, and I kind of drag that behind me. So across the rocks, it slid very well. So I could actually load that up with quite a bit of weight and walk, a good half mile just dragging stuff behind me, not even using my hands. I kind of put it on my belt loop and walked away. So it's kind of a fun approach. It's kind of you can do, what do they call it? Functional fixation, where you generally want to use certain things for certain things for its assigned purpose. So, you use a screwdriver only to turn screws rather than to open cans of paint. But if you don't have something to open a can of paint, then you can use a screwdriver to do that. I don't recommend it, but you can do that. But it's kind of fun that all the things that I've done out here, that I use things for purposes that they were not designed. But I guess that's the nature of doing without, or having, not having the things you really need. So if you've ever used a pair of vice grips as a clothespin, then you probably know what I'm talking about, because I think that's the first time I've done that out here, but that worked. So anyway, I'm rambling. I think I'll cut this off and get to work. All right.